What's going on, guys? PepperBelly here, bringing you some more Hitman Absolution. This is the second video, my first impressions video. First impressions, plural, I guess you could say, because I'm doing multiple videos talking about Hitman Absolution. Here's some more contracts, 2 additional contracts compiled together for a lengthy 10-minute video. Anyway, I'm going to get right into what I was talking about earlier, in my past Hitman video, and that was basically the scoring system was what I was really bitching about. You probably, if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I was just going heavy on the scoring system and just talking about it, and a lot of people have actually, even a comment on that video as well, was saying like, why is it such an annoyance, like why is the scoring system so bad? Even in Blood Money it was similar, and so on and so forth. I'm going to clear that up a little bit. The difference between this and Hitman Blood Money is pretty significant. In Blood Money, it wasn't like a scoring system live being thrown at you and shoved into your face on every single action you did in real time. The difference is, in Blood Money, it would show you your results at the very, very end of the match, or whatever mission you were on. It would actually show you it, kind of like a scoreboard, at the end of every game you're playing online. There's a similar thing where it'll show you how you've done, but it doesn't give you like a negative point. There's no such thing as a negative score in that. It's just your score won't be high. Whereas in Absolution, you can actually have a negative score, which is what makes people really pissed off. Is just the fact that you do whatever it is you do, and suddenly you're in the minuses. Your score just goes negative, which is what makes people feel really bad about themselves. I've talked to people about this. I've talked to many people who've played Hitman. Some of them, one of my closest friends who's is a huge Hitman fanatic like I am. We just love the series a lot. Blood Money was by far our favorite game. And we're not trying to be like, oh, Blood Money is amazing, and if it's not Blood Money, not a Blood Money clone, then it sucks. And look at those two guys having butt sex in the freaking locker, those disgusting men. Anyway, so the difference between Absolution and Blood Money is significantly just that. The fact that Absolution has negative points all in real time just makes you feel shitty for whatever you do. It just gives you a negative feeling, quite literally. It matches to the tone of the scoring. It makes you feel bad that you're fucking, like, it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong, even though it's really your own playstyle, you're doing what you want to do. Where in Blood Money, it would just literally give you a rating as in not just silent assassin, but some of them would be like terrorist, like, you know, stuff like that, where basically just saying you're either a psychopath or you're a hardcore professional, like, you know, killer, like a silent assassin, or you're like a masked gunman, or, you know, it would give you ratings like that, whereas in this, it gives you like an actual numbered score, which is the bigger, more displeasing factor on that, and most people just don't really like it. A lot of people hate it, and personally, I wish there was a way to turn it off, just so I could play the game without disturbances of seeing negative this because you killed this guy. Well, it's like, well, what the fuck, you know? That's what I'm supposed to be doing, killing guys. Why is it so shocking? And subduing people is pretty goddamn loud. Everyone around you hears you subdue someone, unless they're like, they could be pretty far away, and they'll still turn around and just be like, what was that? And they're like, they won't come and check it out, but if you're in line of sight, then you're fucked, and there's nothing you can do. Whereas strangling a guy with a fiber wire, they have no idea, and they're just like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then you get negative points for that, so it's incredibly annoying, and that's just pretty much that. That's my opinion. A lot of people tend to agree with me, a lot of people don't. It really depends on who you are, and most of the people that tend to agree with me, not trying to push people out of the way, are most of the guys that enjoyed Hitman in the past, like Blood Money especially. Going on to what I was, the next topic I was going to cover, which is the disguise system. There's been a lot of talk about this, and they actually, IO Interactive, post on a forum that they're planning on tweaking it to make it a little bit better so people won't be bitching and complaining that much about the disguise system, because as it stands right now, the disguise system is probably completely and utterly useless. Now, I know a lot of you guys aren't going to agree with me, and some of you, like a lot of people out there that are like, oh, I like it, you know, it's fine the way it is, it's new and intuitive, and it's true. Some people will say that the disguise system is broken. To me, it's not broken. It's just a new formula. It's just a new way they went about doing it, so therefore it works in this new fashion. Those of you guys who love Blood Money to the point where it's like, to your heart's content, you're gonna hate it just because you can't literally just suit up in some guy's uniform, walk up to his best friend and be like, what's up? And the guy's like, oh, how's it going? You know, I saw you last week. Like, no, it's not going to work that way. They made it more realistic, but at the same time, that made people, it just turned people off. They've actually made it to the point where it's almost incredibly unrealistic because of how realistic they're trying to make it. They're trying to make it seem realistic, so it has unrealistic properties. Like guys able to spot you just because you're wearing the same uniform as him, you're across the entire fucking map in a crowd of people, and the guy can spot you with your back turned to him, no problem, come after you and start pointing a gun like, oh, what are you gonna fake hold, fake surrender and all that shit. That is bullshit. That doesn't make any sense. That shouldn't even work. The way they spot you pretty much fucks you over completely. And when you're not wearing the uniform or wearing the same disguise that the certain faction you're wearing to mimic is, they don't even turn their head at you. They won't even care. And if they do, and they spot you, all they do is ask you to, like, surrender. They don't actually, like, you fake a surrender and knock them out, no problem, right? Whereas if you're wearing their disguise, it's a little more difficult. Sometimes they'll just shoot on sight. So it really depends. Especially on the higher difficulties, it's almost impossible. Like, a lot of people just bitch about it, saying it's completely retarded and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and they should really, really change it. The way I remember it, Blood Money was a little bit too easy because you can just dress up as anyone and walk around. Absolution, they're doing a very good job of making it feel more realistic, because in real life you can't just throw on a uniform or the same clothes as some other guy and just decide to go parading around in it and people won't suspect a thing. And go put on a cop uniform in real life and walk through the streets. I guarantee you a cop's gonna come up to you and be like, what the fuck are you, what, who are you, you clearly aren't legit, you know, they're gonna question it, but they're not gonna be as suspicious right off the bat as they are in this game, where they see you and they're like insta freaking want to rape you and shoot you in the face, which is just kind of ridiculous because that's just not how it works. So what they need to do is find a nice balance between Blood Money and Absolution. They need to find a balance in between there that kind of just is perfect, you know, like, and that's what they're saying right now. They're trying to find a tweaking. They're trying to tweak it to make it kind of better, and most people are implying that simply one easy correction for this is just to reduce how fast they spot you. Make it so the instincts is less needed unless absolutely last minute you have to, like, you know, absolutely necessary. Like, I'm about to get my cover blown. I'm gonna, you know, throw on instinct and just kind of, you know, cover my face and walk by him. And people are just saying, just do that and it'll be fixed, and like, there won't be any issues. Just reduce the time it takes to become noticed. Now, I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, instinct to me is completely retarded. It should be more like, it shouldn't be a quick time event where some people were saying that it should be like when you're about to get noticed, you have to hit the instinct mode within a certain duration of time to cover your face. Kind of like a quick time event where you're about to be spotted, cover your face for a certain duration and have unlimited instinct for that. Some people were saying that. That I don't really tend to agree with, because then it kind of gets a little bit ridiculous. Like, it's not going to be that easy to, or it's going to be a little bit too easy just because you're going to, quit, you know, hit control whenever you're about to get spotted. No fucking problem, right? However, instinct, a lot of people do hate, so what they're going to have to find, the balance they're going to have to find, I can't even really make a proper comment on it, just because it's such a very delicate thing they have to deal with. All I'm really sure of is that if they can tweak it properly and make it feel a little bit more traditional like Blood Money, then it shouldn't be an issue, because as it stands, that's what's really making this game not feel like a Hitman game. A lot of people complain that it feels like Splinter Cell. A lot of people are saying it's like a mixture of Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell, because I'm fucking sneaking around in my uniform, or in my suit the whole time. As you can see, I'm doing the same thing right now, and I'm hiding in crowds. So Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell, it kind of makes sense. It doesn't feel like you're hiding in plain sight, but at the same time, you kind of are. That's where I'm saying it's kind of difficult to really analyze and break it down to a very specific gameplay style and make it feel more Hitman-y, if that's a proper way I can use that. The way I see it, the thing that was really awesome about Blood Money was that finishing a mission wearing your suit used to be a challenge. That's the key factor to me. Back when I used to play Blood Money, if you were to do an entire mission wearing your suit, that was the hardest thing to accomplish ever, because disguises is what really got you around the map. If you were walking everywhere trying to sneak places in your suit, it was incredibly difficult because people would just spot you instantly and question you, and it was really, really hard. That was a challenge. That's why you get a major bonus at the end of every single mission if you finish it with your suit. You don't have to actually wear the suit the entire time. You can change out of it, but as long as you go back and get it and leave, there's no problem. But people actually like to challenge themselves trying to play every single mission wearing only their suit. And the only mission I was able to do that on was A New Life, where I would actually sneak in there, memorize all the patterns of the enemy, and play it pretty much like Splinter Cell, and just get in there, wear my suit, get out, do everything I need to do, no problems, not even getting spotted, all that kind of awesome shit. Now, in Absolution, it's almost impossible to do shit in a disguise. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's easier to do it in your suit. It's actually less convenient to get a disguise. You can just... I've played the entire campaign, maybe 2 or 3 times I've switched disguises. And that's because it's like a tutorial tells you to, or the situation is just you absolutely have to. Like, there's no way you can get by a specific guy in a certain corridor, and it's just you had to switch suits. That's the thing that I find is like the major difference right there, is the fact that it's significantly easier to play Absolution with your suit, and wearing Blood Money was a challenge. And some missions, you're in a certain corridor, and there's only one type of enemy on the map, and switching their disguise becomes useless. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to rate the video, comment the video, and subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Take care, guys.